Hello, everybody, and welcome to Arizona Barrio Stories and Latino USA TV. So happy to see you. I am Carmela Ramirez. I am the host of Mas con Carmela, and I love to celebrate arts and culture in Phoenix, Arizona, and bring you more of the history of everything from the past, the present, and what might even be the future in the arts. Today, we have two very incredible guests that I've been waiting to talk to. I am so amazed at what they have done over the decades. I've seen them as artists grow within the Phoenix community and internationally. I really want you to take a chance to meet and greet and say hello to Carmen Guerrero and Zarco Guerrero. And you guys, thank you so much for coming in. I mean, this has been a dream to sit and talk to you.
Thank you.
Because I've known you each as individual artists, and I think the community does as well. But I want to know more about the story of how you came to be and the amazing things that you're doing in Arizona. Tell me, give me a little bit of information about each of you first. Carmen, let's start with you.
I'm originally from Brazil, South America.
Okay.
I came as an exchange student to the United States. I went to high school in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I went back to Brazil, and then I got a scholarship to go to college at Antioch College in Ohio. And then I finally graduated from Oberlin College in Ohio with a degree in economics. So between my junior and senior year, I went to renew my visa in Mexico, and something happened.
Oh, is that where you met Zarco?
Yes, we met in Mexico.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. How romantico.
Yeah.
So tell me, Zarco, ¿de dónde eres? Yeah, I mean.
Yo soy de aquí de Mesa, Arizona, born and raised, at least fourth generation. We've been here when this was Mexico. So our family, we never immigrated. We never migrated. I mean, we migrated, but we never immigrated.
Here.
We've always been here.
Right.
But I call myself a Chicano.
Right.
Even till now.
Okay. So, two artists. I mean, were you an artist then when you were in Mexico?
Yes,
What?
I had a degree in piano performance before I left my country in Brazil.
Oh, my goodness.
So I was always playing music, and I played piano. Then I learned guitar because of bossa nova in Brazil. I was growing up. I was 12 years old when all the hoopla was happening. And then Brazil 66, you remember Sergio Mendes. And so I was really, really a musician. But I was studying economics because I was told musicians cannot make funding. So
That's right.
You have to have a
real job?
A professional job. So I graduated with economics. But music has always been part of my life since I was 5.
Is anyone in your family musical?
I have a distant cousin that was the first woman to, she was a classical piano player, Guiomar Novaes was her name. She lived in Sao Paulo. She recorded music. So that's the only connection with family that I had was playing her records in my house. So I emulated trying to play classical music like her. But I was, diverted by the Beatles and bossa nova.
Oh, of course.
I played the guitar and the accordion. So, music was always in my life.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Then I met him, and he didn't play music.
No?
He didn't know how to play guitar.
So where did you meet? How did this happen?
Well, actually, I describe it as a case of mistaken identity. Because I had been living in this village called Tepoztlan, Morelos. In that village, they spoke Nahuatl. And I used to gather in the market with mask carvers that were coming from different parts of Mexico to sell their masks. And they spoke Nahuatl. So I would, sit with them and would talk about mask making, and I would hear them speaking Nahuatl, and I was wanting to learn the language. So one day, I was dressed like a Tepozteco with the typical hat, with the huaraches, with a morral. I was, native, right? And we saw her. We knew every woman in town, and all of a sudden, this woman appeared, and she was dressed like a Tepozteca with the typical the rebozo in a basket and carrying fruit. She looked just like from Tepoztlan. So I saw her, and women have, I guess, an extra sense. She could sense that we were looking at her, right? So she looked at us and then turned around, then did a double take, and we went, whoa, wow, she, we felt this vibe, this connection. And then a couple of hours later, I went to lunch. She disappeared, and we bumped into each other at an orphanage where I had worked before and where she was working at the time. Mm-hmm. So I went to the orphanage to see the kids, and lo and behold, she was there as a,
that was fate.
Working there.
I know.
Yeah, and we started talking, and I noticed that her Spanish was, she had just started speaking Spanish, a real heavy Portuguese accent. And I said, well, where are you from? She goes, I'm from Brazil. I said, well, I thought you were from here. She goes, well, where are you from? I said, I'm from Arizona. She goes, I thought you were from here too, So we immediately began, speaking English. Mm-hmm. And soon after that, a day or two later, we hooked up. We went to a party in Cuernavaca. And as is the tradition in Mexico, they pass around the guitarra. Mm-hmm. They passed me the guitarra, and I couldn't play. I wanted to learn how to play la bamba. And they gave her a guitar, and she ripped it up. She started playing all this bossa nova, and all the guitar players, they freak out. They love bossa nova. Yeah. And I said, hey, what? I didn't know you play guitar. And she goes, no, I don't play anymore. And I said, well, if you're not going to play, teach me. So she taught me the 3 chords of La Bamba. And that's how I started playing guitar.
You were ready for a band.
Yeah. That's part of the story as well.
Yeah, my goodness, that's amazing. So you got married there in Mexico?
No, first we got married in Brazil. He came to Brazil.
Much later, though.
Much later, like 4 years later.
So you dated for 4 years?
No, but we were far away because I met him during that summer between my junior and senior year at Oberlin. And then I went back to college to get my degree. Okay. Then I moved to California to go to UC Berkeley. So then we had a relationship, but then I went back to Brazil. For 2 years, we didn't see each other. And then he came down and we got married with my family in Brazil, in Recife. Yeah.
What made you decide to come to Arizona?
Actually, we had wanted to live in Mexico, in Tepoztlan. That was our dream, to live in Tepoztlan. But my father at the time, he had Parkinson's literally all his life. But we came back to visit my father, and he said, he was only 60 then. He said, you have to come back here. I'm going to die pretty soon. And he looked like he was going to die because he was so sick. He lived 30 more years.
Oh, my goodness.
So we got stuck here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we weren't able to go back to Mexico. And when we came back, it was a exciting time. It was still during the Chicano movement. A lot of murals were starting. Right. There's a lot of bands. As a matter of fact, we had been playing together just as a duo, and we came together with Jambo. We met Jambo. He was a real young guy at the time, and we had a little trio going on. And then we heard about Phase 2 or Phase 4 or whatever it was.
We were phases.
A lot of phases at Celebrity Theater. And it was Carmela and Felix and Ralphie, I think. One of the it was all those people. And Carmen, we were blown away. Yeah. We said, my God, we want to put a band together like those guys. We were really impressed.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah. And we got a gig at Scottsdale Center for the Arts. And Felix was there. And he goes, hey, you guys need a bass player? And it was like, what? You're our hero, man. Right, and so he became our bass player. Oh, so over the years, we shared a lot of musicians together. Yeah.
And I think it happens a lot in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I've been doing music for 53 years.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone I haven't played with.
That's true.
But that's what's wonderful here. I don't think a lot of people realize how culturally rich we are and artistically rich. Oh my God, Arizona is just amazing to me.
Yeah.
And Phoenix itself just blows me away. And these musicians are growing like weeds. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of the artists like yourselves are birthing wonderful musicians like Quetzal, your son. But there's a lot of family here, and I hope to be able to talk to all of them it's their ancestors, whether it's their tío, their grandfather, or whatever, they've kept music and then added their own touch over the years to make it what it is now.
Well, that's what was exciting to us. I mean, you guys had the Latin jazz, salsa thing, and it was very unique at that time. We had come back from Brazil, so we had a whole repertoire of Brazilian music and contemporary Brazilian music at that time, and then a lot of the old Brazilian carnival music. So one of the first gigs we started doing was a Brazilian carnival, and the Brazilian community here came out and supported us, and we became this Brazilian band. And what should we call it? Well, in Brazil, they have a term, zoom, 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 that means a great time.
Pachanga.
Pachanga.
Okay.
Pachanga.
I went to a party last night, and zoom, zoom, zoom was there.
Okay.
So that's what we took on that title.
Yeah. That was an incredible group.
Oh, it was great because we not only played locally, but we went to Don Francisco's program, remember, in Miami?
Yes.
We came out in Sábado Gigante.
Right.
So we were seen in all of Latin America. My relatives in Brazil, friends in Mexico saw us,
It was a great group.
And then we were really pushing original music, playing. He would write the music. Joey Navarro would arrange it. We worked with Charles. We worked with everybody like you did. We traded musicians many times. So it was a great time to be Zoom, 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 and to be in Arizona in the 80s, in the 90s, and really be pushing music, more Latin music, more knowledge about the variety of Latin music.
That's it. I'm sure all the Brazilians here, they needed that. Just like when I started salsa, it was 1988. And there was not much salsa here.
No, you're the first one.
Yeah.
We're one of the first, and we were all introduced together by Luis Enriquez.
That's right. Yeah.
For Key Jazz, and he's the one who approached us because I was still with my rhythm and blues. And he goes, "You know what? You got to do salsa." And he goes, "I want to introduce you to Abel Valentino, and I want to introduce you to Manny Simo." And that's how it started.
Yeah.
We were all introduced to each other. But let me
The
get off
Boojum
of
Tree.
that. Yeah, the Boojum Tree.
Boojum
Oh
Tree.
my God, so many places.
Yeah.
So you're both artists. Can you talk a little bit about what your specialties are, a little bit, and how it worked for you being a married couple, each being an artist, so intense. You each have tremendous. I'm not sure even how to say it. You just bring so many different aspects of the arts, the visual arts, the music, the culture, the education. Tell me a little bit about what your artistry is in each of you.
Well, I think what made the band work is that we shared responsibilities. I dealt with equipment, and I was HR. I dealt with the musicians, and that included bailing them out of jail or whatever.
Oh yeah,
and
you have to have the slush fund.
Exactly. Carmen booked the gig, got the paycheck, and paid the musicians. They would ask me about money. I don't know anything about money. Talk to her.
Right.
And they would ask her about equipment. She goes, "No, you talk to Zarco." So, we shared responsibilities like that. And people, when we're on stage, it looked like, you're having a great time.
Sure.
But it was the most difficult time in our marriage because we were together 24 hours a day. And you know how stressful being in a band is.
Oh yeah.
So it weighed heavy on us because we had a family. We were raising a family. And there was a time where Quetzal was in a basket, and he would be backstage
Sure.
in a basket, and Carmen would be playing the vibes, and then she'd drop down and breastfeed him and then get back up.
I know. I remember that. I remember a gig at Park Central. We were all there. And it was on the rooftop.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I look back, and I know your band was there. And I look back, and Carmen's breastfeeding Quetzal. I thought, this is so cool. Like out in the open, everybody was like, all right.
I think he had no choice of becoming a musician because he grew up all his
Exactly.
life. While I was pregnant, he was hearing.
Right.
And while he was a baby, growing up with a band. So
Yeah.
anyway, that was
What a lucky
happened.
boy.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and then I want to come back for part 2 because I really want to talk more about what you guys have been doing, all the amazing stuff, your nonprofits and everything else. Everybody, Carmen Guerrero, Zarco Guerrero. We're going to be right back in just a few. Arizona Barrio Stories and Latino USA TV.
This segment brought to you by Gutierrez Law Firm.
Hola, mi gente. I'm attorney Francisco Gutierrez and a proud sponsor of Arizona Barrio Stories. I grew up in the Anat Barrio, and I've been practicing law now since 1984. Experience really does matter. If you've been injured by someone, call me. Let's talk.
Welcome back, everybody, to Arizona Barrio Stories, Latino USA TV, Más con Carmela. And today we are here with Carmen Guerrero and Zarco Guerrero. We just talked about how they met and how they came to do this amazing stuff in Arizona. I want to talk more about now how you have taken your music and history and the nonprofits that you created and how they have impacted the community. What led you to do that?
Well, the first nonprofit we created was called Chican Indio.
I remember.
That was before we were even married. And it was just a result of a conversation and a realization that here in Arizona, even though we are the majority, back then was maybe 30%, now we are definitely over 50% in Phoenix of Latinos.
Right.
There was no arts organization that was catering or elevating or highlighting the work of the Latino artists, especially my husband being a muralist. Back then was the time of the murals. So we created Chican Indio to, first of all, to talk about unity between Native and Chicanos. We have so many of the same roots. Zarco has Native roots. He's a Hachaman from the San Juaneño tribe in California. His great-grandparents moved to Arizona, running away from the California scalping, and they settled in the Gila River Valley and moved. His grandfather was born in Solomonville, so he has incredible history that's native to Arizona. And so Chican Indio brought together the Native and Latino American Latinos or Chicanos together, and their art, because the museums are not paying attention to it. We're not having any highlighting us. So that's how we created the first Latino arts organization in the country, Chican Indio.
Really?
Yes.
Well, it was we weren't the first ones, but we in Arizona, I think we were one of the first organizations of Chicano artists set up to promote art and culture amongst Chicano Native Americans. We weren't represented in the museums, and we didn't care about that. We wanted to serve the community. As a matter of fact, we got our directions from Cesar Chavez at that time.
Wow.
Who told us to paint murals, do theater, write poetry, serve the community with the arts.
Right.
And we took that, and that's what we've been doing for the last 50 years.
Wow.
Then we went, and Zarco won a fellowship to study mask making in Japan.
In Japan, I remember that.
So we were gone for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, because we went to other parts of Asia, and it was a great time in our lives of creativity and learning and finding the commonalities between Japanese culture and Mexican culture, that kind of a thing. But anyway, we came back, and the organization was doing only visual arts. And as performing artists, the organization was not really serving our needs. So in 1996, which is 30 years ago, we created Cultural Coalition, which is our second nonprofit arts organization, to highlight storytelling, theater, music, and dance. So that's what we do. So right now we do festivals in Tempe, in Mesa, in Phoenix. We bring together all the kids that are learning. We're making sure that all this knowledge about the cultural arts are being passed on to the next generation. So we support a lot of young mariachi students, a lot of young dancers, a lot of young theater kids, and storytelling. So that's what Cultural Coalition does now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I know you do a lot.
Thank you.
I mean, we would have to just sit and talk about every single production and festival that you guys do because they're so amazing. What I found fascinating is that we didn't have Dia de los Muertos in Phoenix or in Arizona, really, until you guys created the first
That's
festival
right.
in Mesa.
In Mesa, 1980.
Yeah, we had experienced Dia de los Muertos in Mexico. And like you say, we didn't, Dia de los Muertos for us as Chicanos was more or less, a little altar in the house, a few more flowers, some incense around the abuelitos, the pictures and stuff. But we were very determined to celebrate our indigenous past. That's what Chicano meant to us, was a celebration of our indigeneity, not Hispanidad. Hispanidad had been shoved down our throat our whole life, right? Now we wanted to acknowledge our indigenous heritage. And what better way to do it than to begin to celebrate America's most ancient, continually celebrated holiday, which is Dia de los Muertos, go back 3,000 years, and it's a celebration that we inherited from our indigenous ancestors long before Spain. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to bring that, recreate it, reinterpret it, and share it with our community.
Wow. That's what I mean, though. You guys have been so instrumental in just bringing so much awareness to our history. And it's so important. And I think the unity between the two is just, fascinates me, because I think you sort of feed off of each other, and you've created so many things. You are a musician.
Right.
You are also a jewelry maker.
Yes.
Talk
I'm
to
a
me a little
beader.
bit about that. A beater, yeah.
I started beading when I was 5 years old at the foot of my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one who taught me how to bead. Back then in Brazil, we were beading with seeds. We'd go collect seeds from different flowers, different plants, take them home, and boil them with food coloring to make them brighter. And then I'd spend hours with a rusty nail trying to make a hole into those little seeds.
Oh,
So we could make necklaces and bracelets and things like
Are
that.
those some of your pieces?
Yeah, these are all the pieces I make. My earrings, I make them too.
Oh, my goodness.
So then, when I was 12, I discovered glass beads that have a hole in it already. So I
Like,
would-
whoa.
Yes. So I've been very inspired by beads. I follow a lot of the Huirarica, which is the Huichol people of Mexico. They do amazing
love
bead work.
Huichol, yeah.
Yes. So they are my inspiration. And so I started this Carmen Creations beadwork about maybe 20 years ago. And now my daughter is the one who helps me promotes it. And now we're part of the Amor Collective, which is 39 women artists right down here in downtown Phoenix.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing. Talk to me about an amazing opportunity and recognition that was given to you by Virginia Piper
Oh, yes.
organization.
I've always wanted to be a Piper Fellow. One of my mentors was the director of the Idea Museum in Mesa, Sunny O'Rourke. So she became a Piper Fellow, and I saw how the organization blossomed with that support.
Yeah.
So in 2023, I applied and received the Piper Fellowship that allowed me and him as board president to travel to and visit about 40 museums and cultural institutions around the country.
Ooh.
My goal was to find out what's next for the Culture Coalition. We are a grassroots, nonprofit arts organization. We do not have a building. We serve the people by doing events where they are, in the communities that they are. So by visiting museums and cultural institutions in Mexico, in Canada, and United States, it just broadened our horizon of what's possible, and also validated a lot of the work that we do. Because I keep thinking I'm a small arts organization, but like you said,
You're not.
we have a big impact.
Yes, you
and
do.
we have like open doors. And I know that we have primarily, which is my thing in life, how to say comes to my heart, is because I see children that have the first art experience, maybe at one of our festivals doing an art activity, and then they blossom, they grow, and then I see them studying mariachi, and now they are at ASU,
Right.
and they're part of the ASU mariachi. It all started with that day they came to
That's
our festival.
right. That's
you know?
right.
So
Yeah.
I know that the impact has been bigger than we even know.
Right. Once you can touch them, no matter how it is,
Yes.
that's it. They're on
That's
their
it.
way.
They are.
Zarco, your mask making and all the art that you have created is international. It's all over the world. Talk to me about what you're doing now and what are some things that you might want to
it's a fascinating time right now in many respects. First of all, most exciting thing going on for me is that I'm having a one-man 50-year retrospective at the Mesa Arts Center
Okay.
beginning in this August, which is a big deal. For me, that's like winning the Academy Award as an artist.
It is a big deal.
Yeah, that's what I've been working for 50 years. I wanted to have this retrospective, and I've been actually putting it together for 50 years, visualizing it, and it's coming together. So it's going to be a really big deal. The Mesa Arts Center is putting all their resources into it, and so we're really excited about that. Musically speaking, about a year ago or more, we started recording another album.
Really?
And we got it about 90% finished, all original music, produced by Sergio Mendoza in Tucson.
Okay.
But we're 90% finished, but he's producing big stars, and they're traveling all over the world. So we're waiting for him to get back from his European tour so we can hopefully finish the album.
Wow, that's amazing. I know that we're probably going to list it on the screen and everything. We need your website to make sure people can reach you. Make sure you provide us that information. I know your son Quetzal is a big result, I should say, of the unity of you two. I was there when he was born. It's just amazing. Now he's an international star.
Yes.
Tell us what he's doing. My
Well,
goodness.
he's based out of Australia. They moved to Australia. But right now, he is the musical director, and he composed the musical for Borderlands Theater in Tucson. It's called Anita, and it's a reimagination of the show Little Orphan Annie, but it's about a Latina girl that got separated from her family. And he composed cumbias and salsas and boleros for this, and he's gonna open April 4th, and we're gonna go check it out. So he has his own career as an artist and a composer, and he plays music everywhere. He still plays the violin. He's known as Q Violin, and he's also our pride and joy.
I heard his music on your mask making video.
Yes.
All the masks that you have hundreds of masks, don't you?
Hundreds.
Thousands.
Thousands?
Yes.
My goodness. And it was his music in the background. It was so identifiable.
Yeah.
So that's good son. Oh my God.
Yes.
And it's perfect. It lines up so perfectly. I see you just, bursting with energy and vibrance still. You guys are still kicking butt.
Well, you know what keeps us going, man, is the youth. When we have our festivals and we see those young mariachis, little kids.
I know.
And the dance companies, little kids. It's like, that gives us more joy than anything at this stage in our lives. We know that our culture is alive and vibrant. And our motto is La Cultura Cura, and we see it happening.
And that's very true.
Yes.
That's very true.
And then like Primavera Ballet Folklorico, we've been working with them for 40 years. We are seeing 4 generations of kids. We started with Maria and Philip, and then there was another generation. Then there was Ted Ruiz and all
Isn't
these
that
dancers.
something?
And now there's the little ones. Ted Ruiz's daughters are dancing. So that's really our joy, is to see that the generations are picking up our traditions. That is not dead. It's there. It's alive. It's moving. It's beautiful.
And that's why we need you.
Oh,
Continue with what you're doing, because it's just so amazing. I'm so proud for you.
Oh, thank
and
you.
we celebrate you. I mean, we
Oh,
really,
thank you.
really do. Thank you for coming to Arizona Barrio Stories. For everyone out there, make sure you visit the websites. We'll list those addresses on the video screen. But I really want to thank you so much for coming in. And I know we're probably going to sit down and talk in another few years, because I know you're going to do more amazing things.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
So thank you. On behalf of Arizona Barrio Stories and Latino USA TV, I'm Carmela Ramirez. Thank you for watching, and we will see you very soon. Azúcar.
hi.